Breaking news for visa holders in the United States: the USCIS has just issued an urgent alert for anyone on H-1B, H-2A, or H-2B visas, and the ongoing government shutdown is making this situation more critical than ever. If you're working under one of these visa categories or have family members relying on your status, this is not something to ignore. The implications of these updates could affect your work authorization, travel plans, and even your ability to maintain lawful status in the US. Right now, understanding exactly what's happening, why it's happening, and what steps you can take is absolutely essential. Let's start with some context. The H-1B, H-2A, and H-2B visas are vital pathways for skilled workers, temporary agricultural workers, and seasonal non-agricultural employees to legally work in the United States. Millions of workers rely on these visas every year, and their employers depend on them to fill critical roles across industries like technology, agriculture, hospitality, and construction. However, with the federal government partially shut down, USCIS operations are severely impacted, leading to delays in processing, new temporary guidance, and urgent advisories that affect visa holders immediately. For H-1B visa holders, who typically work in specialty occupations such as tech, engineering, and healthcare, the USCIS alert highlights that certain requests for evidence, RFEs, and approvals may be delayed indefinitely due to reduced staffing. This means if you are in the middle of a petition, waiting for an extension, or planning to change employers, your timeline may be disrupted. USCIS is advising H-1B workers to maintain meticulous documentation of their employment, pay stubs, and I-94 records, because proving continuous lawful status may be required later once normal operations resume. H-2A visa holders, who are primarily temporary agricultural workers, are facing their own set of challenges. USCIS has made it clear that processing for H-2A petitions is being slowed, which could affect seasonal farm work and critical agricultural operations. Employers may find themselves unable to hire the number of workers they need on time, creating potential gaps in staffing that could impact crops, livestock, and overall production. For workers, this means you may need to delay travel to the USCIS, adjust your work schedule, or communicate closely with your employer to ensure that your visa remains valid. Similarly, H-2B visa holders, who fill temporary non-agricultural roles such as hospitality, landscaping, and construction, are also impacted. USCIS alerts indicate that applications and petitions may not be processed on the usual timeline, meaning some workers might not receive approvals before their intended start dates. This could disrupt seasonal employment plans and affect both employers and employees. Visa holders are being advised to keep detailed records of their employment offers, contracts, and any communication with USCIS to protect themselves during this period. One of the key elements of this situation is the government shutdown itself. When the federal government is partially shut down, many USCIS services are limited. Certain operations continue for fee-funded programs, but staffing shortages and prioritization of urgent cases mean that routine processing like extensions, amendments, and initial petitions can be delayed. For visa holders, this creates uncertainty because the timing of approvals can affect your ability to stay in status, travel internationally, and continue working legally. Another critical issue highlighted in the USCIS alert is travel restrictions and re-entry risks. If you are currently outside the US and planning to return on your H-1B, H-2A, or H-2B visa, delays in visa stamping or petition approvals could result in being denied entry. Even minor delays can become major headaches if consulates or USCIS offices cannot process your documents on time. Experts are advising visa holders to postpone non-essential travel, communicate with employers, and ensure that all documentation is in order before attempting re-entry. So, what steps should affected visa holders take immediately? First, review your current visa status carefully. Check your I-94 records, your visa expiration dates, and any pending petitions. Make sure all your employment documents are up to date, including pay stubs, contracts, and proof of continuous employment. This documentation could be essential if USCIS requests evidence once processing resumes. Second, communicate closely with your employer. Employers may have additional guidance, such as filing amendments or extensions, or assisting with travel plans to mitigate delays. In some cases, employers can provide letters or affidavits confirming your employment, which can help USCIS maintain your lawful status during the shutdown. Staying proactive with your employer is crucial because delays could affect not only your employment but also your long-term immigration status. Third, consider consulting an immigration attorney or accredited representative. The USCIS alert emphasizes that visa holders should seek professional guidance if they are unsure about their next steps. Immigration law can be complex, and during a shutdown, making an error such as overstaying a visa or filing incorrectly can have severe consequences. Professional advice can help you navigate these uncertainties and protect your status. It's also important to note that USCIS has implemented temporary flexibility measures during the shutdown. For example, they may allow certain late filings, extensions, or grace periods in specific cases. However, these measures are not permanent and apply only under strict conditions. Keeping up to date with the official USCIS website, email alerts, and guidance from your employer or legal advisor is essential. The USCIS alert also serves as a reminder that this situation is evolving rapidly. Shutdowns can last weeks or even months, and policies may shift depending on federal funding negotiations. Visa holders need to monitor the news closely, stay in touch with legal advisors, and maintain all records meticulously. Any lapse in documentation or failure to follow temporary guidance could affect your ability to work, travel, or remain in the United States legally. For families and dependents of H-1B, H-2A, and H-2B visa holders, the alert carries additional weight. Dependents on H-4 or H-2B derivative visas may also experience delays in processing work authorization documents, travel documents, or extensions. Parents, spouses, and children should ensure they remain informed about processing timelines and maintain valid documents to avoid status violations. One of the most pressing questions for workers is, what happens if my visa expires during the shutdown? USCIS has indicated that, in many cases, grace periods and temporary extensions may apply, but these are case-dependent. The safest approach is to avoid unnecessary travel, continue employment documentation, and seek professional advice immediately if your visa expiration is approaching. This alert is a wake-up call for all affected visa holders. The combination of the USCIS advisory and the ongoing government shutdown means that delays, uncertainty, and potential complications are now a reality. Acting quickly, documenting everything, and staying informed are the best ways to protect your legal status and employment. In conclusion, if you hold an H-1B, H-2A, or H-2B visa, this is not a drill. The USCIS Urgent Alert underscores the risks posed by processing delays, travel restrictions, and documentation requirements during the government shutdown. Review your visa status, maintain detailed employment records, communicate with your employer, and seek legal guidance if necessary. This is a critical moment where preparation and vigilance can prevent serious consequences.